Travelling definitely has its challenges. Even when I first started sort of going on, whether it was family trips or trips by myself when you're sort of in your late teens. And then I was fortunate enough to go to New Zealand when I was 20. And that was a real journey of understanding the pitfalls and the fun parts. But then I think with a trip to Europe when I was 30 in 1996, certainly was an eye-opener. And it really did start me on a growth journey. I was starting to get a little too acclimatized to doing the same sort of subject matter and really felt this is a pivotal part. I'd been painting 10 years. I think now it's time to see if I can push it to another level. And unfortunately, I did actually slice my finger and had 6 stitches in it. So I actually was drawing for the first sort of 10 to 12 days. Then I got the stitches out and then I was right to sort of start to do a little bit of watercolour to start with. And then at the end of the trip, I did a couple of little oils. But it did really fuel my desire to travel more and really sort of experience what the world has to offer. And I realised for me personally, going to a location, whether it was to South Africa or to Venice, I've now done 14 trips to America and about 7 to Europe. Recent trip last year to Ireland was one trying to capture the essence of the area, but also the buildings. I think the structures in the landscape are so indicative of that area and so sort of special to that area. So I think that's the other part that I have loved to try and capture. I would love to sort of get to new places in the near future as well, and there's some exciting things coming up. But there's certain areas, and I do feel Italy and France are 2 of probably the real paintable, super paintable areas of the world. And so travelling is one thing, but painting and travelling are even a higher level of difficulty. But what I do recommend is getting a fast drying medium. Not a huge fan of liquid, but Galkyd, archival lean medium, which is my go-to and my favourite medium, probably of all time. I've been using it now going on 34 years and still love to use it. The consistency, the speed of drying. So I tend to use a backing board, canvas sheets when I'm travelling. If it's only a sort of a 7 or 10 day trip, maybe I can get away with some boards or all boards because the weight isn't a concern. But the beauty is I can work like a watercolourist, and even with the 12x9s, I can use a little 12x9, the iPad box that I got when I got my iPad. That is so hard cased and you can fit almost 10, 15. And the great thing is they're pretty well dry overnight, so I can just whack them in there. And you can get a bigger one for 11x14s or bigger size paintings that you may do, but normally 9x12, even 10x8s are great size. A lot of the bigger paintings are really just an 11x14 blow up that I've done the study, so they can encapsulate enough information. So I'm leading this trip to Italy and France this April, May 2024. We're going to Spannocchia first, which I haven't been to this exact region, but I've been to Siena and San Gimignano, and Tuscany is such a marvellous area to paint. It's hard to find a bad spot. Then we're off to Florence, which Florence, with the river, the buildings, it's quite a unique area to paint outside of all the other cities in Italy. And the Cinque Terre is number 3. Spectacular coastline. We'll have boats, we'll have the ocean. We've even got sort of some buildings and some local character. But I think the other beauty is being able to get up high and the downhill look as well, which I do love to use. Or the opposite is looking up into buildings, into sort of backgrounds. That's always a fantastic approach as well. Then the next one we'll head off to Provence, right in the southern part of France, which I was there in 1996, and it wasn't really on my radar as for a super interesting place to go to visit, but it really was a great surprise. So Remy was one of the real highlights for me, and we're aiming to get there as well. Certain areas just have that extra X factor that you can't really sort of generate or make or create. It just has it, and they're really marvellous areas to paint, and that really brings on Dordogne, which is art in the castle. Just saying that, the fact that we'll be based in a castle, we'll have those surrounds as well to capture. So that's going to be a fantastic 5 days of painting there. But for the icing on the cake will be Paris. The fact that they haven't allowed too many big skyscrapers to impede the natural charm of Paris, I think that's what really does make it super paintable. And with the river as well, the bridges across the river, and there's lots of other really great highlights. Of course, the galleries and other gardens. Who can't forget the gardens as well? So we're going to try and definitely get to as many of those places as possible. This will be about my 7th trip to Europe, and it's one that I really do look forward to, a destination that I really do look forward to being able to return to, and I believe it will really lift your work. Even if you wanted to just do the first day or first half day drawing, I think that's a great way to leapfrog yourself into your acrylics or oils. And the acrylics are a great travel medium, or gouache is even becoming more popular, and it's one that I haven't managed to get time to touch on yet, but still is a marvellous medium as well. So I'm super hyped, really thrilled. Alex will be coming along with me, and we'll be able to capture a lot of it. So if you're unable to join us on this, you'll be able to get really the highlights package via the YouTube channel as well. So if you just click on the link down below, you'll be able to get the information and see what you think. So thanks for watching. All the best. Bye for now.